Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I'm your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, training facilitator and coach with Grant Cardone. I'm bringing you weekly sales solutions, sales tips, sales strategies, and a couple attitude adjustments thrown in there for good measure directly from the 10X world of Grant Cardone. Check this out. 80% of what we do here is 100% free. So the purpose of the podcast is to make sure the free stuff we're putting down, you are picking up and you're plugging it into your sales, your business, and your life. So thank you so much. Thank you in advance for hitting that subscribe button. And if you're finding some value from the podcast, if you get something out of today's episode, if you've gotten something from other episodes in the past, please do me a favor and make sure that you're sharing this out into the cyberspace. In fact, don't just do me a favor, but do somebody else a favor. I promise you right now, there is somebody out there waiting for you to share this so they can grab it and take it and plug it into their sales, their business, and their life. So if you love it, pay it forward, share that sucker out. Now, today we're going to be talking about, speaking of success, what you need to be successful, what people need to be successful. But before I get into that, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor, shall we? Today's episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast is brought to you by Grant Cardone's Cardone University program. This is the #1 sales, marketing, and business training program in the galaxy. This is your methodology to increase your income and grow your sales today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, today. Okay, here's what you're going to get. Full access to Cardone University with over 800 plus business courses, private Cardone U Connect community over on the Facebook, exclusive Q&A live streams with Grant and heavy hitters over at the Miami office, private Q&A sessions with Uncle G every now and again, never before released content, access to live weekly training sessions, and membership pricing on all products and events. This is everything that you need to run a business and your household. Grant calls it self-improvement on steroids, and we want to have you on this journey. And so what we're doing right now is we got 2 weeks free for you just for being a listener of the podcast. Head on over to cardonesolutions.com/Cardone, the letter U, the word free, cardonesolutions.com/Cardone U free. After the 2 weeks, if you're absolutely positively in love with it, you can stay on it for only $97 a month. It is no money at all. But wait, there's more. If you get over there to cardonesolutions.com/Cardone U free and you recognize, I don't need 2 weeks, I know this is the right thing for me, we have a special offer for anybody who takes action when? Now. Okay, so cardonesolutions.com/Cardone U free. And now, speaking of success, on with the show. So we're going to answer the question. We're going to lay it out for you. This is exactly what you need to be successful in sales. If you don't know, you will when we're done. Okay, so stay to the end. Okay, so what do you need to be successful in sales? So let me start with this. If I'm sitting down with a company and they're thinking about getting on Cardone University, and we're having a conversation. This could be a sales team of 3 or 4. This could be a sales team of 300, 400. It could be a lot of people. Doesn't matter. I'm going to ask 2 questions. I'm going to ask, what do you expect from your salespeople? So I'm talking to a manager or leader in an organization. What do you expect from your salespeople? And the other thing I'm going to ask is, what do you believe that your salespeople need to be successful? And the answers to those 2 questions really help me understand what's important to them as a leader. And it also gives me an idea as to what they're going to need from us so I can understand what they expect. And then I can provide that. And we can go about making sure that we're delivering the correct training and motivation that meets their needs. But what I want to do right now is I just sort of want to make this about you. I mean, you're the one listening to this right now. You're the one watching it. If you're doing the video on the YouTube, right? This is you. Let's make it about you. It's all about you. You're in sales. And if you didn't know that, surprise. Congratulations. I don't care what you do. Okay? If the company you work for or the company you own, if it doesn't sell, you're out of business. So you're in sales. You contribute to that somehow, some way. So the question I want to ask for you, or ask to you, and the question I'd like you to answer for yourself is, what do you expect from yourself? You've got goals, you got dreams. What are your expectations of you, from you? What do you need to be successful? Because if you're not seeing the results that you want, but the effort is clearly there, maybe you're just not getting your needs met. Maybe your expectations are actually out. meaning you're working really, really, really hard, but you're not seeing the results that you think you should be getting for that level of effort. If the production isn't there, and this goes back to a single person, this goes back to an entire sales organization. If the production is not there, it can typically be traced back to one of two things. Either there's a lack of motivation or there's a skill issue. So I want to look at what a salesperson is going to need in order to be successful, have the motivation, and get their skill dialed in. Now, if you're a manager and you listen to this right now, take note, because these 6 things I'm about to deliver to you are exactly what your salespeople need to be successful. And you may not have signed up for, hey, I'm a manager now, so I got to lead people. You may not have signed up for that, but that is the position you have found yourself in. So use these, leverage these, okay? To be successful in sales, you need 6 things. I'm going to list them off. So if you're taking notes, start writing. Targets, perception, study, practice, debrief and correction, and consistency. So let me break these down one at a time. Okay, the first thing's targets. Like you salespeople, salesperson, you need targets. All dogs need to chase something. Dogs love to chase. We're motivated by moving towards things, especially things that we want. And we're also motivated by moving away from things that we don't. So salespeople, you need a target. You better have one. And whether that's you getting out of debt or 2 weeks on a yacht in Greece, targets help you put things into perspective. And they help you push through any resistance and overcome obstacles along the road to success. You're like, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. Here's the target. There will always be obstacles along the road to success. But do you have enough motivation within your target that is going to empower you to push through the resistance? So you need a target. Second thing you're going to be needing is perception. So let's talk about this for a second. You need to be able to look at and observe what's really going on what is really going on around you. Excuse me, tripped over my own tongue, but I ain't going to stop. We keep going forward. You need to be able to look at and observe what is really going on around you. And then you need to make a conclusion for yourself. You need to be thinking for yourself. So there's a term, it's called neutral thinking. I just read about it in a book called It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Mowat. And he talks about this, to be able to see what's going on, not get emotionally involved in it, and then make a decision about how you're going to move forward. And so often, we just find ourselves in a whirlwind of data and advice and information and just all this stuff is daunting at times. So you need to be able to make a decision for yourself. What is the right thing to do? And if you're holding on to limiting beliefs or outdated practices that will never serve you anymore, you need to be able to see what it is for what it is. You need to be able to see the what, the who, and how for what these things are without any prejudice. And then you get to make a decision about what is true for you. And now the next thing you're going to need is practice. If you're a martial artist, you study martial arts. You read books, you watch video, you see your instructor and other martial artists demonstrate technique. Yet, if you don't practice the technique, you're going to get your ass kicked in a fight. You will know how to fight, but it doesn't mean that you can fight. So that means you must practice selling. You must practice sales. And if you're getting your ass handed to you by your customers right now, then you need more practice. Period. Then you need debrief and correction. Speaking of martial arts, actually, never mind. Short story. My dad had his aortic valve replaced several years ago. And the surgeon who did the job, he'd done it like hundreds of times. And after the surgery, I asked him what he does after surgery. And he says at the end of the day, him and his team, they meet up and they debrief their surgeries. They look at what worked, they look at what didn't, what they learned, how are they going to get better. And you'd think that after doing, hundreds of procedures, they'd be all good. No. No, they don't. They're constantly looking to improve, looking for ways to get better. They debrief their experiences and they look for windows of opportunity to improve. And you need this too. And I get it because, you're not a heart surgeon. But the only life on the line here is yours. So you need to start debriefing situations. Consistency. If you go to the gym once in a while, what can you expect? You can expect to get sore, and you can also expect to get little or no measurable results. Now, if you're going consistently, with consistency, and you follow a routine, and you eat right, you get a better result. It's almost guaranteed. Okay? It's not an if. It's a when. So for you, that means the previous 5 things that I just listed off, what were they again? Targets, perception, study, practice, debrief, correction. Those must be done with consistency. In fact, get these done every single day. Because if it's worth doing once, Grant says, it's worth doing every single day. So here's a suggested timeline for you. Write your goals and your dreams down at least 2 to 3 times a day, once in the morning, once before you go to bed, and anytime you start to crap out. Study your craft in the morning before you leave for work, and then turn your evening, your day and drive time, turn your drive time into learn time. On the way into work, definitely practice handling objections and closes. And then before you walk in, make a decision about what kind of day you're going to have. You're doing this already. I just want you to bring it forward into your conscious mind. Right now it's probably happening subconsciously. Let's do it consciously. Make a decision about what kind of day you're going to have. Role play with your team before you get on the phone or you get in front of a customer. Practice some part of the sales process. Practice on each other. Do not practice on customers. And then commit to debrief at least 2 client exchanges or interactions every single day. And this is you being successful in sales. Okay? Your success and your failure will be based on the decisions that you make every single day. Will you do what it takes to get your needs met? Or will you simply wait and see what's going to happen and hope you get lucky? You pick. But if you got goals and dreams, if you have a family you want to see prosper, or if you want to make sure all your loved ones are fully taken care of, then you're going to need to be successful in sales. Following these steps every single day sets you up to succeed. Now, there's more to this, obviously, but follow these and your foundation will be unbreakable. And this has been another episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. What are you going to do to make sure you have an unbreakable foundation? You're going to do these 6 things. You're going to get your targets dialed in. You're going to make them big, fat, juicy, and a little bit intimidating. You're going to work on your perception. You're going to study. You're going to practice. You're going to debrief and correct. And you're going to do it with what? Consistently. So thank you so much for listening. One of the ways to make sure all this gets dialed in for you effectively is to get yourself on Cardone University ASAP. If you're not already on it, please make sure you do so, because we do have 2 weeks for you for free. Head on over to cardonesolutions.com/Cardone U free. I'm going to leave you with the words of Grant Cardone. Thank you again for listening, and be great, because nothing else pays. See you soon.